WWTD number 5. I'm out here today at, let's see if I can get you guys to see it. Our townhome projects, they're almost done. We got number 1, number 2. Maybe you can see them. Anyway, we're getting close. Weather sucks here in Portland this winter. Sucks bad. So we had snow again this morning. It's been raining for like 30 days straight. So it's been hard to get the outsides painted. So hopefully we can get them painted this week because we're supposed to be done basically a week from today or a week and a half from today. So we'll see. But hey, this week I wanted to address a topic and kind of talk about, I guess, what I would do since this is a WWTD show. All about relationships. It's kind of a deeper topic, I guess, but you know, it's not that deep. And when we're entrepreneurs, it's an interesting world for a lot of reasons. But when, you know, more specifically, we're real estate investors. You're an entrepreneur, right? You're solopreneur. You're an entrepreneur. You start off by yourself. Then eventually, hopefully, you grow a business. You have people working for you. So you're in the entrepreneurial world. But we're real estate investors in the entrepreneurial world for the most part. Those of you guys watch this. And so when you are an entrepreneur, life's different in a lot of ways, and one of the big ways is with relationships. And so I wanted to talk about just briefly kind of what you need to have in terms of having a relationship in order to be successful, right? So there's positives and negatives that you have to watch out for. So number 1 is, well, let's start at the beginning, right? When you're starting your business, you know, you got to have somebody that is in support of you doing that. You know, whether that's, if it's somebody that you're already with, that you're in a relationship with, they have to understand what you're trying to accomplish, right? They can't look at the business as like somebody you're cheating on them with your time, right? Because then that creates resentment, and ultimately relationships fall apart. And like 55% of marriages fall apart anyway, and relationships, it's probably much higher than that, obviously. So you really have to, if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, you have to make sure that they're on board for what it is that you're doing. They understand that 9 to 5 doesn't really apply. And so maybe, you know, you're reading things, looking things up, trying to, you know, looking at properties, things like that on the weekend, later at night, early in the morning. Your mind's always going. So you gotta be cognizant of that. You gotta be aware of that. And then of course, you know, when you're starting your business, it usually takes a lot more time, right? It sucks up a lot of your mind power. It sucks up a lot of your day, your hours, your overall time, trying to get that business off the ground, trying to learn the business so that, you know, all of your efforts are not for naught, right? You want it to be a success. And so to help ensure it be a success, you got to give everything that you can to it. And sometimes relationships suffer because of that. So you got to be aware of that. You got to understand that if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, or you are in a relationship with somebody, your better half has to understand that, you know, and be on board with what it is that you're trying to accomplish. One other thing, you know, real quick is, you know, there's a guy out there with the initials GV who, you know, for the most part is a pretty bad example. There's kind of this hustle mantra that's out there, and you got to bust your ass. Don't get me wrong. I bust my friggin' ass every day in, day out, you know, doing what I do to build this business. But you know, he does him, and that's great. But you know, his persona that he puts out there, 99.99% of people are going to end up divorced and alone with that, right? You know, nobody can work till midnight every day of the week, or, you know, thereabouts, with 2 kids and a wife, and not expect them to have a note on the counter when they get home one day that says, peace, I'm out, I can't do this anymore, right? So that's not a reality either. So I just want to mention that. You got to balance the two. And usually as your business grows and time goes on, you can give a little more, you can be more present to the relationship. That's why I waited to have kids for so long, honestly, because I just felt like I'd be a shitty father until this point, because I just didn't have enough mental bandwidth to give to the business, a relationship, and being a father until this point. And I had to grow up a little bit too, and understand how to segment my time and how to be able to turn it off. And I still am challenged with that. I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better. So anyway, something to think about. If you're in a relationship with somebody, understand that it's different when you're an entrepreneur and when you're a real estate investor, because hours don't apply, your mind's always running, and as you're building your business, it just takes time and it takes energy, and you know, sometimes you just don't have a whole lot to give to the rest of life while you're in that building phase. And then, you know, as you start to achieve success and the building becomes, you know, a successful business, learn how to balance the two a little more, because if you don't, you know, if you live the GV mantra, you're going to end up alone, more than likely. It's the very, very, very small percentage that have a significant other that, you know, just don't care if you're around. And if that's the case, they might be moonlighting on you anyway, so who knows? You know, who knows, right? So that's just the reality of it. But be aware of that, you know, when you choose your better half, when you're in the world of entrepreneurship, it's a different choice. You know, you have to look at some different qualities that other people that are not in this world, they never pay attention to, because they don't have to, because they can shut it off at 5 o'clock and they can shut it off on the weekends, and they just don't care. And you know, the weight of the business does not apply to them after that. So it just makes life different. So anyway, that's the WWTD this week. Think about that. You know, if you put yourself in a shitty relationship, your business is going to suffer too. That's the reality of it. You have to have your personal life in order to really help get your business in order. When your personal life's a mess, it does bleed over into your business. There's just no way around it. I know some people say if your personal life's a mess, just put yourself into your business and it'll be great. And you know, to some degree, I guess that's true. But you know, if you're a mess in one part of your life, you're likely going to be a mess more so in another than you would be otherwise. So anyway, that's this week's WWTD. Hopefully you guys like the advice. And as I always say, I may not walk on water, but I do walk on my own job sites. So I'll see you guys next week.